They drove him for 3 or 4 hours and him like that.
Months after police say a man died of an overdose, 2 people are charged in his death.
Police say it's an unusually high number, especially for one night. 4 cars were stolen from 2 Nicholasville neighborhoods overnight.
State police are investigating an officer-involved shooting in Powell County. Why deputies say the officer had to resort to shooting the suspect.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. We know the calendar says it's the first weekend of fall, but it might as well say the last weekend of summer.
Definitely. We are tracking some warm weather for our Saturday. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and your no-wait weather forecast. I think I should say hot weather.
Yeah, more of the same rolling into our Saturday and Sunday, and then you get to Monday. We'll save that for just a moment because we do have better stuff coming into town. Right now, upper 60s to around 70, most of central and eastern Kentucky. How about your Saturday? Let's go ahead and get the forecast out of the way tomorrow. That's what you're wanting to know about. Did you like today? 64 in the morning, little fog, 90 tomorrow afternoon with a mostly sunny sky that will be showing up across the region. Cold front that is across the Rockies producing snow just to the west of Denver. I'm not talking about snow, but it is that front that is going to work its way toward the east, and it's a big-time fall cold front. It is on the way to the Plain States, the Mississippi Valley, and eventually the Bluegrass State. That will usher in the chilliest air of fall. Not that that's hard so far, considering how warm we have been. But, guys, I'm issuing the first pot of chili watch of the young fall season, the hour-by-hour forecast at 11:11.
Chris, thank you. Police say they didn't try to get him help. Tonight, 2 people face charges in connection with a drug overdose death in Rockcastle County.
David Spoonamore and Morgan Dixon are both charged with abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence. Police say that Jerry Price was with them when he died. We talked to Price's mother earlier this month before anyone was charged in this case. Monique Blair is at the live desk tonight with our top story at 11. Monique?
Good evening, Sam and Amber. One day after our story aired about Jerry Price dying from a drug overdose, one person was arrested, and then a couple days later, a second person was arrested. Both of those people are now charged with abusing Price's corpse and tampering with evidence.
34-year-old Jerry Price died from a drug overdose earlier this year.
I think all the time, what could I have done different?
In early September, Price's mother sat down with WKYT to talk about why she was upset.
They just drove him around. They drove him from Berea back into Rockcastle County. They drove him for 3 or 4 hours and him like that. If they would have took the time just to drop him out at the hospital.
David Spoonamore and Morgan Dixon now each face charges. Court documents say in July, Price overdosed in Berea, and then for 3 to 4 hours, Spoonamore and Dixon drove him around, never stopping to get him help.
And he was laying curled up in the back seat.
Police tell us it's likely up to 3 hospitals were passed where Price could have potentially received some help, but he never got that help. Court documents say witnesses saw Price's body being dragged before they dropped him off at home. His body was found in the back of his minivan.
I know he done the drugs, but they took the choice away from him when they didn't try to get him help.
Now, there is a law in Kentucky called the Good Samaritan Law that actually would have protected the suspects here, Dixon and Spoonamore, if they would have taken Jerry Price to a hospital. Now, that law says people who witness an overdose can get help for the victim without facing any punishment if they are in possession of a small amount of drugs or paraphernalia. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Tragic situation. Both Spoonamore and Dixon are expected to face a judge on Monday.
Nicholasville police are warning people to be on the lookout. They say overnight, last night, 4 cars were stolen from the Keene Crossing and Squire Lake neighborhoods. Police are looking for 2 men who were caught on camera. Garrett Weimer takes a look at the surveillance in this Crime Tracker alert.
One of the things folks in Squire Lake say they like about their neighborhood is it's quiet.
It's normally very quiet. The neighbors are very nice. We just don't have any problems to speak of.
But some neighbors say in the past couple of months they've had their cars broken into. Still, nothing like their cars being stolen.
4 vehicles in one night, and all these victims are now without cars. and it would be nice to try to get these returned to them.
Police say 4 cars were stolen from Squire Lake and Keene Crossing sometime around 3 or 4 in the morning. One neighbor tells me he and his friends were awake at the time, saw some guys going around checking car doors, and they ran them off. He says his friend's car, though, was one of the 4 stolen.
We typically never have that many in maybe a 2 or 3 week month period as opposed to one night.
Nicholasville police say one of the cars was spotted 12 miles away at the Circle K on Leestown Road in Lexington. Investigators say the suspects used a credit card left inside the car to get gas. Police hope folks can identify 2 suspects from these surveillance images of them inside that Circle K. Neighbors hope they catch the culprits soon.
I'll definitely keep my lights on at night, make sure my car's locked, and just be extra vigilant.
In Nicholasville, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Investigators say all of the cars were unlocked and even had keys inside. Police again urge folks to lock your car doors and do not leave keys or other valuables inside.
Dozens of people are out in Charlotte tonight for a 4th night of protests after the shooting of a black man by a police officer. Keith Scott was shot and killed earlier this week. Today, Scott's wife released this video of the shooting. Now, you can't see the shooting, but you can hear her telling officers he doesn't have a weapon. Police say Scott refused commands to drop a gun. So far, there have been no reports of violence from the protests tonight. And some new information tonight about this officer-involved shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Betty Shelby is charged with manslaughter for the shooting death of Terrence Crutcher. Shelby's attorney says that she is trained in de-escalation and that she had been selected to train new officers. He also says that she was so caught up in the encounter that she didn't realize backup officers had arrived. Shelby turned herself in earlier today and was released on bond.
A man is in the hospital tonight after an officer-involved shooting. The Powell County Sheriff's Office says their deputy used every tool on his belt before using his gun. Deputies say they received a call that the 41-year-old man was in someone's yard along Copper Creek Road. When officers showed up, he took off and they chased him. One deputy tased, pepper sprayed, and used his baton on the man, but it didn't work. Eventually, the chase stopped at a fence, and the deputy and the man got into a fight. That's when the deputy shot the man in the chest.
After he was hit in the chest, he crossed the fence that was there and went down. And while the deputy was there waiting on backup and the ambulance crew to get there, he laid there and smoked a cigarette.
The deputy involved in the shooting is on administrative leave while state police investigate the case. Tonight, we do not know the deputy's name or the name of that suspect. Powell County deputies say they are not familiar with the suspect, but they do say he does have a long criminal history in other counties. He also has a warrant out for his arrest in Clark County for a probation violation.
New tonight, during a time when tensions are high among police, a Rowan County group is making sure that first responders are feeling the support. Tonight was the first ever Backing the Lines event in Moorhead. Organizer Ashley Caines tells us they just wanted to show first responders that the community has their back. There were children's activities, food, door prizes, and a silent auction.
The donations are going to be going to Kentucky Law Enforcement Memorial in Richmond for fallen peace officers throughout Kentucky and the Kentucky Firefighters Association as well.
And there was also a candlelight ceremony to honor past, current, and fallen first responders.
Are you ever nervous for those school spelling bees? Still ahead on WKYT News, why some adults were willing to spell on stage.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Happy Friday, everybody. We've made it to the weekend, and it's still on the toasty side, but fall weather lovers, listen up. Your days are just ahead of you. We've got better weather coming into town in terms of the temperatures starting Monday and really taking up residents across the region most of next week. Finally going to act the part of September, I should say. Upper 60s, low 70s, depending on where you are right now across most of central and eastern Kentucky. You know, the big weather news of today, you actually had a little bit of cloud cover to see from time to time. That's how boring it has been around here over the past week. Ohio Valley, everybody 60s and 70s, though we have a little weak front that is trying to nose its way on into town from the northwest. Front's never going to quite get into the bluegrass state. We're not worried about that. Look at all the blue skies, the clear skies out across the plain states. That's what's coming tomorrow and into Sunday. And then the Big Daddy arrives on Monday. That's a strong fall cold front producing snow into the Rockies. 3-day forecast. Another toasty day tomorrow. Temperatures likely to hit 90 degrees again. Yada, yada, yada. Winds on the increase, still warm on Sunday. Here's your day of change, though. Monday, broken line of showers and thunderstorms will zip its way across the region. Winds are going to really gust up, and during the afternoon and evening, temperatures start to slide a little bit. Here is that same front on Monday. That's the front right now that is west of Denver. We go through your Monday and Tuesday. Made no changes to the progress of this from yesterday. That cooler, more comfortable brand of air moves into town as we go toward the middle of next week, and it's likely to hang tough through most of next week as well. We can show you this big change now. Watch the new hour-by-hour forecast. No change tomorrow. We know that. We go into tomorrow night and Sunday. Winds will begin to gust up. Still plenty of sunshine around on Sunday. Quickly, though, the clouds filter in Sunday night into Monday morning. Here comes that band of some showers and thunderstorms. Notice the temperature difference at 1 o'clock. Look at Lexington, 76, 80 into Moorhead, Mount Sterling, 81 London. By 5 o'clock, we're dropping it into the upper 60s to low 70s now as that front presses on through eastern Kentucky. How about 11 o'clock Monday evening? Already mid and upper 50s, and look at where we wind up Tuesday morning. 46, 44, 45, 46, 43. Ready for some 40s? That's why I put that pot of chili alert out as we go into tonight. All right, pot of chili watch. We'll upgrade that to a full-blown alert on Monday as we get closer, guys. Just want to give everybody a heads up so you can head to the grocery store and stock up on your chili.
I like when we get those alerts.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the mood. I'm done with
yeah.
the 90-degree weather. I want some chili, so thank you for that.
Next week, we expect at least a sample.
Good to know.
Okay. Spelling bees, well, they're not just for children. Tonight, teams of adults took the stage for the second annual Spell to Read at Christ Church Cathedral in Lexington. Cost $100 for each team to take part.
The Spelling Bee supports the nonprofit Reading Camp, which helps children behind in reading. The camp is free for families, and our own Victor Puente was the MC for tonight's events.
After the break, Brian and Lee Kay, and Lee Kay's in his shorts, so that means it's a special night, are in tonight's high school football highlights. That's what they have. Game time is next.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on another Football Friday night and high school game time. I'm Brian Milam. He is still waiting he is the father in waiting here.
Today's the due date. You do know that, right?
Just say we could have this child that refuses to enter this world at any moment, and Kristen Kennedy is waiting to get on that phone with you.
Yeah, she's probably asleep right now. Still not here, but you just never know. You may have to finish this show by yourself tonight, Brian.
That's what I've been told.
All right, let's get going with some football. That's all we really care about tonight. We start tonight with a city game that features two teams that aren't your father's teams anymore. You get it? Tate's Creek and Bryan Station used to live by the run. Now they love to throw around the yard. Creek's Cameron Workman already has thrown for nearly 1,200 yards. The Commodores lead 6A football in passing. Meanwhile, Station's Jalen Burbage is closing in on 1,000 yards passing himself. It's our game of the week. Here's our main man, Ryan Lemon.
Bryan Station in trouble early as Tate's Creek trying to win back-to-back city games for the first time in a long time. Station quarterback Jalen Burbage, the touchdown pass to Kendrick Curry. That made it 28-14, Tate's Creek on top. Then Tate's Creek trying to add some more, but linebacker Romel Crowley picks it off, and he goes 26 yards for the pick six. That cut Tate's Creek's lead to one possession, 35-27. But too much Commodores in the fourth. LaRon Warner, the short touchdown run, his second touchdown of the game, made it 42-27. And then Cam Workman throws his third touchdown pass of the game. This one to Big Jackson Bierman, 48-27. And that's the final score. Tate's Creek wins it, 48-27.
It's time to get the old Creek back, and we're just trying to put our team on the map. And where people was asleep on us, we're trying to make a name for ourselves.
We do feel like that. I mean, we haven't beat Station in about, 5 years. And it just feels amazing to be our senior class and just to carry it out like we are. It's just amazing.
With the win, the Creekers improved to 4-2. They got a week off next week before they return to action when they play Madison Central. Ryan Lemon, WKYT, game time.
This season certainly has not gone as scripted for Henry Clay. The Blue Devils have been searching for an identity on offense where they've had literally 12 different players rush the football. Meanwhile, Lafayette, they seem to go wherever quarterback Walker Wood takes them. Wood leading the Generals in passing and rushing. Lafayette has won 2 straight over the Blue Devils, and in the first quarter, it is the aforementioned Walker Wood. QB keeper going to run through the defenders into the end zone. That means it's a touchdown, 6-0 Lafayette. General's defense is swarming. Brandon Lane, the big stick, and more from Walker Wood, who throws deep to Tiandre Newcomb, 13-0. And in the 69th year of the city's oldest football rivalry, it's all Lafayette, 55-6.
Clark County has a hard time scoring, facing Scott County, who has one of the best defenses in the state. That's a bad combination. Opening kickoff, not the way that Clark County wanted to begin things. Bryce Fryman providing the quick strike on the opening kick. That looks like me playing the Sega Genesis back in the day. 86 yards. Jim McKee says that's the way you start a ball game.
Yeah,
He's looking around. Yeah, y'all see that? Josh Davis then with the quick pass out to Glenn Covington. Just watch the moves by Covington. 79 yards, breaking ankles down the sideline. We'll see you later. Call your mom and tell her about it.
No.
Actually, he was drugged down just before the 5-yard line, but guess what? There's a touchdown. That led Scott County to the touchdown, 55-13, the final.
Lexington Catholic has lost 4 straight since winning the season opener tonight. Another tough one, Cooper out of 6A. Second quarter, Cooper up 17-7. Jared Linder comes back, finds Dante Hendricks, stretches it out into the end zone, 24-7. Catholic driving to end the half. Kirk Fagot throws, but watch the grab on this interception. That is a layout and a great catch. Cooper wins it 38-20. Catholic just 1-5.
How about the state's highest scoring 2A team, Lexington Christian, hosting Fairview. Third quarter, LCA up 50-0. Fairview's Mason McIntyre with the pass to Brandon Wilburn for the touchdown. It was 50-8. They were waiting on our cameras to show up before they started scoring. LCA's Trey Sparks gets the handoff and goes in for the score once again, just to make sure that we're still rolling. 57-8. Sparks again heading downfield. I believe here he comes. And he's going to get nailed at the goal line by the man with the last name Wilburn. No first name, just Wilburn. LCA wins 64-16.
Dunbar hosting Anderson County.
Is that you, Brian, or is that the dog?
That was the dog, allegedly. Tied at 14, late second quarter. Bearcats' Tyler Peters loses the ball. Karsten Thompson pounces on it for the Dogs. And the ensuing Dunbar possession. Would you say that something good's going to happen? Gavin Bugg to Trey Homer down at the 22. 25 seconds to go until the half. Bugg rolling the other way. Markel Yeast is there. Touchdown, 21-14, and the Dunbar Bulldogs win it, 40-21. Pulaski County, Madison Southern, the Maroons have won the past 6 meetings between these two. It's a glow party, ladies and gentlemen. Down 14-0, Southern strikes on the jet sweep. Zeke Benton gets to the corner and gets to the end zone, 14-7. Pulaski County turns to its Mr. Football candidate, Jake Johnson. Watch the acceleration after the catch. Make a man miss, blows by them all. 47-yard touchdown, 21-7, and Pulaski County goes on to get the win tonight, 28-14.
I'm still not a father, so that means the highlights will continue on the other side of this timeout. You're watching WKYT High School Game Time. And welcome back, and still no baby. Let's head back out to Madison County and Richmond.
Yeah, okay, still no phone call yet. We'll get back to that phone call as soon as we can. Woodford County coach Dennis Johnson is in his second season in Versailles, and already the Yellow Jackets have equaled their win total from last season. With 3 tonight, they face one of the best defenses in all of 6A football, Madison Central. And it is a happy homecoming. Brandon Fritz tried to get into the picture. We had to take him out. First play of the second half. Jabari Hughley, he's a converted linebacker turned running back, and that young man's gone. Nobody's going to get him. 55-yard jaunt. It is 32-0 Indians. The next time the Richmond Tribe gets the football, it's Gavin Holberg, and he is loose. He picks up 48 yards, knocked out of bounds at the 5. He would punch it in a couple of plays later, and Central in a shutout, 42-0.
False alarm, just a telemarketer. Danville got off to its best start of the Clay Clevenger era when it won its first 3 games of the season. Last week, the Ads tripped up, though, on their way to number 4 when they lost to Corbin. Tonight, Greene County in the big house. Danville up huge, 34-0 in the second, and Ellison Stanfield takes it and breaks free. 41 yards. Coming right at you. Then he'd be pulled down. Not too long after, though, Don Levy-Harris waltzes into the end zone to add on yet another Danville score to start the running clock. Danville shuts out Greene County 62-0.
Uh-oh, did you hear that? We head across down to Boyle County. The Rebels have won 2 straight hosting Lincoln County. Early in the first, it's the Rebels landed. Bartleson takes it 25-plus yards to the house, 7-0 Boyle. However, Lincoln County would answer right back. Trey Carey, to me, it feels like he's been here in Stanford for a long time. He plows his way in, tied at 7. Boyle rattles off 50 in a row, and they win 57-7.
Western Hills off to its best start since 2009 tonight at East Jessamine. Second quarter, East Jessamine trying to score just before the half. Kyle Gann rolls to his left, looks, hits Aaron Fortenberry, and he goes in. 14 yards and a touchdown, 27-7 Jags, but they leave too much time on the clock for the Wolverines. Jalen Youngblood hits Thurman Seals. Yeah, he does the rest. 34 yards in the score, and Western Hills gets the win tonight, 41-35.
Well, old Dudley do right. The Hilton Hotel is open in Central Kentucky, leading Taylor County into West Jessamine. First quarter, Dudley's Cardinals get on the board first. West Jess's Marcus Jones gets picked by Ezra Oliver. That is a touchdown, 2-point conversion, makes it 8-0 Taylor County. West Jessamine firing another shot into its own foot. Jones completes the pass to Greer Stone. That's a fumble. Cards recover. Taylor County goes on to get the win, 30-14.
Bourbon County broke through last week to pick up its first win of the year. Tonight hosting unbeaten Paintsville. First quarter, Paintsville drove down the field on the first possession of the game. Alex Spencer carries the ball down to the 2-yard line, but Bourbon County would hold strong and hold Paintsville to a field goal. Then after a Bourbon County 3-and-out, Paintsville handing it off to John Phelps, but he has the ball knocked loose and fumbles recovered by Bourbon County. Let's go to the scoreboard on this one. The Colonels give the Tigers a fight, but the final, the Paintsville Tigers stay unbeaten, 17-16.
And our final set of highlights will be Paris and Berea. First play for the Paris Greyhounds. Aaron Maggard rolls out, sees Jacques Dumford, 23-yard touchdown pass, 7-0 Big Orange. And then we have some fun with this highlight. Maggard over the middle to Jacoby Wells, and Wells will make the catch, and then he starts going to work, makes everybody miss. He gets into Johnny Jukes mode. He makes the whole team miss. Switches field, that's a touchdown for Jacoby Wells. And Paris got a lot of touchdowns, 52-0.
The Wildcats play tomorrow. We're talking about it next on Game Time. And Kentucky returns to SEC action tomorrow night in Commonwealth Stadium. The Wildcats are rated just a slight favorite over South Carolina. Now, Brian Steven Johnson, he'll get his first start at quarterback, and he did a really good job last week taking over for the injured Drew Barker.
He did. Kentucky had everything going on offense, more than 300 yards passing, 300 yards rushing. That's never happened before. What will happen tomorrow? It is the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Cats. 7:30 on the SEC network. Defense is still the key. Who's going to show up?
And they've got to win that game.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us once again. We'll see you next week.
Phone's ringing.